Real. I'm your host, Joe Ma'am.
It's your boy, Big Sherm.
What's going on, man? So this is episode 107. This is called Bubbles Outside the Bubble. And we touched on this kind of last week where Big Sherm and I kind of talked about players' complacency within the bubble and that, these guys are usually want to do things that can jeopardize the bubble that they're in. So basically what we'll be talking about, if you don't know, Lou Williams had, I believe he got excused to go to a funeral, right? Which I believe is his father or a father figure or something like that. Paul Williams was the guy's name. And so he went to this funeral in Atlanta. And, Atlanta right now is a hot spot for this whole COVID thing, right? One of the hot spots along with Florida. But he proceeded to go to Magic City, which, listen, I totally understand, right? I totally understand. But when you're trying to win an NBA championship, it's not the best thing to do, right? Like when you're a boxer, don't have sex before a fight, right?
Mike Tyson did it though.
Well, yeah, Mike was a different beast. He's a different animal. He breaks your back, and when he breaks your back, it's spinal.
But hey, he won the world championship with gonorrhea at age 20. Who knew?
Damn. Okay, I did not know that. But
he said it himself in his one-man special.
Okay, I did not know that. But Lou, but Lou Williams proceeded to go to Magic City. Apparently, it was to get some chicken wings. But a rapper, I guess an Atlanta-based rapper, I don't know, I don't remember the rapper's name, posted a picture. And then he claimed that he posted the picture because that's how much he missed Lou Williams. And in a way, for not Lou Williams to get in trouble. But we know people are smarter than that. And there's timestamps on things. And so Lou Williams has to quarantine for a bit.
10 days.
10 days. And he will most likely miss the two seeding games, I believe, right?
They don't need Lou that much, really.
But no, listen, I will tell you this. They kind of do need Lou, right? Because they're already losing Montrezl Harrell. They're already Ivan Zubac. And they're already losing, who else isn't there? Pat Beverly.
Mm-hmm.
So, right. So the Clippers. So the one thing that's important about this bubble, right, is because there's new teammates. There's guys who aren't going to be there. You have to get some type of continuity, right? And I get it. Listen, you're on campus. You need bubble. You know what I'm saying? You need a bubble. When I was on campus, same deal. You know what I'm saying? So I get what I understand what these NBA players is going through to a certain degree, right? I'm surprised because I thought James Harden would have been the first one.
Listen, let me tell you something. I understand there's needs, but do you want to be on a freaking ventilator?
Listen.
Do you want to be on a freaking ventilator?
You got to ask Lou Williams then. He wants to be on a ventilator.
Apparently.
He wants to be on a ventilator. And listen, I feel bad for the Clippers, right? Because when you look at when the season first started, right, Lou Williams is giving you 18.7 points per game, right?
Right.
Obviously, integral piece behind, obviously, the big dogs and Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, right? You're going to need Lou Williams. And while he's not going to miss the postseason, of course, like I said, continuity is important. Gelling, chemistry is important. And you need your guys there, especially with so many of the Clippers guys already going to be missing some games. They're going to have to be quarantined and whatnot. It's a bit tough. Lou Williams kind of puts them in a tough predicament.
It ain't that tough of a predicament. It's only 2 games. Like, come on.
Listen, I get it, man. But, not everybody's in shape. I mean, Lou Williams could ball, right? Like, luckily.
In the 4 months that this thing's been going before this thing, if you have not been training and doing something wrong, something is really wrong.
Not everybody coming out like Zion.
And listen, you got to do something. You got to keep yourself sharp.
You do.
What do you mean?
You do. And I'm pretty sure, listen, like, his game traveled, no doubt about it, right? But
team wise, defense travels, so I'm not worried about that.
But yeah, you got a point. So you're not concerned at all about the whole.
No. Listen, once they get into the playoffs, as long as everybody's cool and everybody COVID free and stuff like that, they're going to be fine. Their job is to make sure if they meet the Lakers in the conference finals, they're all ready to go, all systems ready to go. Unless LeBron's going to start snitching somewhere.
Listen, speaking of, now I'm not the biggest LeBron guy, but I kind of have to be a LeBron guy because he's wearing the purple and gold armor nowadays, right?
Okay.
Listen, I'm pretty sure he made the call. I'm pretty sure. Producer lady, if you're watching, I'm pretty sure LeBron has something to do with this.
And she knows he made the call. She know.
You know what I'm saying?
Still have our bet going. I ain't forget.
LeBron is already tight that Giannis is getting MVP, right? It's gonna happen.
And Ben Simmons shooting threes now, baby, from the power forward position.
Ben Simmons has been doing this for the past 2 seasons. But listen, I don't know if Ben Simmons is ever going to be able to translate that shot well.
Hey, it looks. Listen, I've seen some of the videos. That thing looks smooth.
I mean, it looked good. Listen,
that shot looks smooth, baby.
I went to a game last year where I think Ben Simmons only took 1 of 4 threes last season or earlier this season. Yeah, it was earlier this season, and the crowd was going crazy, and we thought Ben Simmons was going to turn the page on a new part of his game, but it regressed. So I don't know, man. I got to see a little bit more from Ben Simmons in game for this, because when you're playing game speed, it's totally different, right?
Right.
When you're playing game speed, it's totally different. So I got to see a little bit more from Ben Simmons in meaningful games to freaking to make me believe that he's turning the page on a new part of his game.
Now, if he can hold that form as you're holding that cigar right now, they're going to be just fine. They're going to be just fine, my man. They're going to be just fine.
I think so. Listen, to me, the Clippers are still the favorite. But
I still think so.
And it's crazy, right? Like, this is the thing. We're talking about the Clippers being the favorites to win a championship. That's how you know what I'm saying? We're in some type of alternate universe.
It's not alternate. I've been telling you this from the time Kawhi got there. That this is the championship. This is the championship contender.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I've been telling y'all this. Defense wins. I mean, yes, you got to have the offensive prowess out there, but defense, if you like the Warriors, even the Warriors themselves were winning championship with defense. Yeah, they were a top defensive team when they were winning their championships.
You know what's crazy? They're like they're feared for their 3-point shot, but they hit a lot of mid-range jumpers during their runs to the finals.
Not as much. It was really the 3-point shot, but like when the game, well, of course, when the playoffs get close, now everything gets condensed. You have to run proper offense, and that's what they were doing.
Yeah,
they're running proper offense.
Yeah.
So it was threes mixed in with the twos, but the offense was flowing at the time.
Yeah. No, you're definitely right about that, man. Listening to you talk about the Lou Williams thing, though, just going back to it, I kind of agree. It's not a big deal. I just feel like because it is a hashtag whole new game, it's important for guys to be on board, especially during the early process of this, unconventional time in the NBA, right? 2 games essentially isn't much, but let's say if the Clippers fall to
3
to 3 or something, right? Don't know right now, but the one thing you don't want, I don't know where the Mavericks are seated, because that's the thing, right? Like,
I think the Mavericks are seated 6.
Yeah, so if the Clippers drop to 3, right, which is highly unlikely, you have to play the Mavs, right? If the Mavs stay in their spot, if the Mavs are at number 6, and then you have to deal with a really good team because the Mavs are good. I feel like they're one piece away next year from people talking about them being a championship team. You know what I'm saying?
But again, defense travels, because once they're going to put Kawhi and Luka in the key moments, not right away.
Yeah, of course.
The game, but in the key moments, Kawhi will be on Luka, and for everything Luka's done, I don't think he can penetrate that, bro. I don't think he can get through Kawhi.
Listen. I hear you.
Make
I love Kawhi, and Kawhi is a defensive monster. But Luka, man, Luka's something else, man. Because it's like he's not even remotely the fastest guy.
No, he's not.
You know what I'm saying? He's not even remotely. But the guy is just so intelligent. He knows angles, and he can get his steps on you. So my thing is, I don't want the Clippers to fall to number 6 because I do want the Clippers.
Number 3, you mean?
I mean number 3. I don't want the Clippers falling to number 3. And necessarily these Lou Williams quarantine where he's missing these 2 games may not even be a thing. You know what I'm saying? But he is giving you 18.7 and 5.7 assists per game off the bench, right? So Lou is providing some serious offense, right? Because, listen, this can happen where one of those guys don't have a good night. At least, Lou's always coming with it, right?
Right.
At least Lou is like plan C, right? They also missing Landry Shamet, who's a great cog piece on that Clippers team. Montrezl Harrell is gone for a little bit, and Patrick Beverly, right? And Ivan Zubac, right? I love Zubac. I love Zubac when he's on the Lakers. Maybe I'm a little biased because I'm a Laker fan, but I thought Zubac was playing well right before he got traded. You know what I'm saying? But listen, the Clippers got some things to do. If they don't get their stuff together in time, right, their chemistry and whatnot, listen, y'all about to just give LeBron an easy 4th championship.
It's fucking guy.
I'm just saying.
You and producer lady in freaking cahoots. I swear to God.
Oh, listen. When you wear the purple and gold armor, you're part of it. You're part of it. You got to win. That's all it is. It can't be anything else, right? So we'll see. I mean, this bubble thing, I really want an unexpected team to take. I know I'm going off subject a little bit, but I really want an unexpected team to go. I would love to see like the
Toronto can go back to back again, man. Like Toronto, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah,
at all.
I would like Toronto. I would like to see OKC just for Chris Paul's sake.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Even the Celtics, I would just like to see something different.
Not even. Run. You know who people really are rooting for on low key?
Who?
The Rockets for Russell.
Listen, I would love it. James Harden needs one. If any time to get one, because it looked like he didn't. It looked like he didn't miss a step at all when he came back. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But I need James to do something, and I need
wash his ass before the game.
He should do that too. Hopefully he's doing that. Hopefully the new hairstyle inspires ass washing. You know what I'm saying? But next time, because that Lou Williams thing is kind of dead. I want to talk about a team that's outside the bubble who is still making some noise. The Knicks, for some reason, has been relevant within the sports world for the past 20 years. Not really achieving anything within those 20 years. I did like that 2014 Knicks team. But the Knicks are finalizing a 5-year deal with Tom Thibodeau.
Coach burnout.
Okay, so I was going to ask you how you feel, but
you already know how I feel.
I kind of understand how you feel.
Coach burnout. Here we go.
Listen. Oh, you want to elaborate, or are you just going to...
No, I'll let you set it up. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, I kind of like the Tibbs head coaching pick, because I look at the Lakers head coaching pick where they was trying to go sexy with like a Tyronn Lue or like a Jason Kidd as the head coach at one point. And you need a guy who can actually coach, right? We get on Tibbs yes, he did burn out those Bulls teams. But those Bulls teams were actually pretty good, and we don't know what Derrick Rose could have been. I mean, Derrick Rose right now on the Pistons is arguably their best player, right? Yeah, it's Detroit. But Thibodeau did a really good job with those Bulls teams, right? Joakim Noah being
I'll give him yes, you gotta give him credit for that one. Okay.
Yes. Now we go to the Timberwolves situation. He wasn't that great. He wasn't that great of a head coach, but
no. You know why that didn't work?
Why?
Because he had lazy Andrew Wiggins
Yeah,
sticking
lazy.
up the joint.
He also had can't move a building. Carl Anthony Towns.
Wait, he was improving with Cat. Cat was improving. He was showing a little something.
Yeah.
But Andrew Wiggins, as an overall number one pick, nah. It wasn't working.
Huge disappointment. Who was number 2 that year for?
I don't even know.
It was what's this guy? He's been around for a little bit too. Jabari Parker. Jabari Parker was number 2.
Wow.
Yeah. Talk about 1 and 2 busts. At least Wiggins got his money though. At least Wiggins got his money.
Yeah, because Minnesota had no choice but to give it to him at the time because where else were you going to get a player like that?
Yeah,
traded. Not even.
Oh, they traded Zach LaVine, which was stupid.
No, that was
Yeah, that was kind of dumb. But listen, I would say this about the. You said we got some comments. Hold on, let me check it out. Yeah, but this is what I would say. Tibbs ain't a bad coach. The problem with the Knicks is not the head coach, right? Hopefully, Leon Rose, who's the president of basketball operations, is able to do his job. And
Worldwide West.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what they call him.
No, I know. And get some players and get some players.
The problem with that is who's out there in the free agent world.
Well, go ahead.
Because there's not really much out there, unless you're going to try to get Andre Drummond.
I would not try to get Andre Drummond. You have to. I would not. Listen.
That's what's out there.
Andre Drummond is a great player. He's a good player. He's not a great player. He's a good player. The problem with the Knicks is that you don't want management getting guys at the same position, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have a great player in Mitchell Robinson. That should be your foundation piece until you get a guard that can do something. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson has to develop his game offensively. He's great on the defensive side already. His second step is fast as hell, right? You need to develop RJ Barrett, right? I don't know what the deal is with Kevin Knox. Probably never gonna know what the deal is with Kevin Knox. You know what I'm saying?
I had high hopes with Kevin Knox.
I did too.
Because he's a guy who can stretch the floor. I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah. Dennis Smith Jr., wherever he went, needs to come back. Right?
Oh my God.
Because you remember the Knicks fans were mad. Knicks fans were mad when we didn't get him. And now that we have him, he's doing shit. Right? So Tibbs, the good thing about this Knicks team, right, with Tibbs being the head coach, right, is that they are young. So you can grind them because the thing is they got to pick up their work ethic, right?
Right.
It's 94 feet of game, right? It's 94 feet of basketball court that needs to be played. They need to play all that. They need to play all 48 minutes. Tibbs will instill that in them, but they need to change up their roster. You know what I'm saying? Right now I'm looking at their guys. They got Bobby Portis, Kevin Knox, Taj Gibson, Frank Ntilikina. Ntilikina, I don't know what. Hopefully.
Oh my God, yo, son, they be killing Frank on all social media platforms,
they do.
And I feel so sorry for this dude, man. Like,
he has a couple. He has a couple games. He has a couple games in FIBA, and they post it like he's doing something, and he does. He shows little flashes, right? But hopefully, Tibbs can get the best out of Frank, Kevin, and RJ Barrett, especially RJ Barrett.
Well, you know this. You know defensively, they'll be okay.
Maybe.
Because some of those guys do play defense. I'll give them credit for that.
Yeah.
Offensively, though, is where it's going to be a struggle.
Yeah.
Who's going to get the ball? I know everybody's hyping Mitchell Robinson to be this next Nick great, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. He's like a complimentary piece to me at this point. If we start to bring yeah. I know everybody's gonna say, "Oh, Sherman, what the fuck are you talking about?" Come on, let's be serious for a minute. You said the same about fucking Kyle Kuzma, and what did I tell you about Kyle Kuzma?
I'm gonna tell you.
Look how he is now.
I'm gonna tell you about Kyle Kuzma and why he's not succeeding right now, right? Because LeBron has the ball. One of the things that's tough to do in this NBA is to play off the ball. The Warriors can do it, the Spurs can do it, but it's hard for other teams to do it. You look at Houston, you look at the Memphis Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA is nothing but stud point guards, right?
Right.
The Knicks are one of the few teams that don't have a stud at point guard, right? They're looking at RJ Barrett to become something. You know, he's a guy I look at from he plays the 2 and the 3, a little bit of the 4, maybe even play some 1 if he get his ball handling up, right? But the Knicks don't have a stud. Lakers have LeBron James as a point guard. When it's not LeBron James, it's Rajon Rondo, who's injured for 6 to 8 weeks, right?
You can say he's done.
I wouldn't say he's done. He could come back for the playoffs, but yeah, I kind of understand what you're saying. What I would say is this, though, is that this is why Kyle Kuzma is not flourishing and why Brandon Ingram is flourishing. Because essentially Brandon Ingram is, you know, kind of there. You know, he could play a little bit of the point, right? He has that ball handling. He has that ball handling ability. Kyle Kuzma does not, so he's definitely not getting opportunities to bring the ball up, right? And that's why Kyle Kuzma struggles. I like Kyle Kuzma. I think Kyle Kuzma is still a great player. And Kyle Kuzma had mentioned Kawhi Leonard, saying that Kawhi had to play behind those 3 in San Antonio. You know, their big 3 with Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker. And then when it was his time to shine, he shined. So Kuzma kind of feels like he's on that same uprise as Kawhi Leonard. I don't
what?
think
he said what?
Yeah, he did. He did say that.
He ain't nowhere near that shit.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Listen. It can all change. It can all change. Because you
remember when Kawhi, the fuck out of here. Go ahead.
When Kawhi came in, he was a defensive guy.
But he was actually giving LeBron problems at his age at the time.
All right, LeBron still OD'd in that finals. I just want to let you know that.
But when he saw Kawhi, he was like, "Oh shit, I gotta defend it." You seen the tape?
I know.
Come on, son.
I know.
Come on, son. Come on.
This is what I'm saying.
Fucking Kyle Kuzma. What the fuck is this, bro? Go ahead.
But back to the Tibbs situation. Sorry, because we do go on tangents. I think Tibbs is a good coach. I know David West was a little angry that Tibbs keeps getting coaching opportunities, right? Because like you say, he's coach burnout, right? My thing is, do you feel that the way Tibbs coach, his time has passed as an NBA head coach? Because I don't think we see him try to be player friendly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't work out for Tibbs in Minnesota, right? Where it was like he kind of let Jimmy Butler do whatever he wanted. He couldn't get the most out of Towns, even though Towns started to progress. And Wiggins, I think Wiggins is just a guy who's too talented. I know he's too talented, but doesn't want to put in the work, right? He has his spurts. But David West was basically talking about a black head coach getting the Knicks position, right? And I've been preaching for Mark Jackson to get a position with the Knicks, right? Patrick, I mean, I know Patrick Ewing's a college head coach right now at
Georgetown.
But listen, I feel like Mark Jackson should have at least got a look at. I know there was reports of Jason Kidd, and I know Jason Kidd had that stint with the New Jersey Nets, which was kind of weird, and then he had this stint in Milwaukee.
But Giannis said, but Giannis said he learned a lot from Jason Kidd. Like he was teaching this man how to play the game.
Yeah,
from a forward position. Like he's a teacher. Like Kidd was a teacher on the court. Yeah. So now him teaching Giannis now, and he learned a lot. And he didn't want Jason Kidd to go.
Well, listen, I get that, but under Budenholzer, the Bucks have exceeded tremendously.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, Giannis, you don't want him to go, but look at what your team has become since Jason Kidd left.
And to your question, you was going to ask me what I think about the whole Tibbs situation.
Yeah.
I think Tibbs is more suited for a veteran team. He is more suited to be coach veteran players that understand what he's saying and understand what he wants out of players.
Yeah,
because this is a young man's league now, for the most part.
It is a young man's league, but the problem is that Tibbs will run those guys and then down into the ground. If anybody who you can run down into the ground, it would be young players, right? They have fresh legs. You know what I'm saying? Most of these guys haven't played the multitude of minutes that accompanies playing an 82-game season. So you want what the Knicks need, especially the Knicks organization, is discipline, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Tibbs can instill that. I think Tibbs is a good coach. I think he's proved it in Chicago, not so much in Minnesota. He proved it in 2008, being assistant on that Boston Celtics team, right? He implemented that whole defense with Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers gave him the reins to do that with the Boston Celtics in 2008. And Tibbs did a wonderful job. But Boston was one of the best teams. And I know that's like 12 years ago, and that's kind of far back to go. But these guys coached for a long time, and I think Tibbs can develop these guys in the right way. He just has to understand the dynamic of coaching young players, which I think his stint in Minnesota allowed him to kind of get some experience with that, even though it wasn't successful. I think Tibbs is a good coach hire, but I would like Mark Jackson or even Ty Lue to get a shot at the position. I know they're talking about finalizing the deal. There was some talk about Kidd because talks were stalling between Tibbs and the Knicks organization. But yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not so mad at it because I think Tibbs is kind of like Frank Vogel. They're both defensive guys, and look how that worked out. Look how that was working out for the Lakers. You know,
but look, come on, son. That's LeBron, son. Come on.
No, listen. I get it. But LeBron is the same reason why Ty Lue would get looks. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But Tibbs is a good, solid coach.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see what's up with that, and we'll see how the Knicks do next season because you definitely know they ass ain't in that bubble. But all right, so the next thing we're going to talk about, last topic before we end the show, is a little bit about the New York Jets and their safety and Jamal Adams. There was some beef. He said some things about Adam Gates, how he's not a leader, how during halftime he would let the other coordinators, other assistant coaches talk in the locker room, and he would just walk out. This was a huge problem with Jamal Adams. The New York Jets has sent him in a fourth round 2022 pick to the Seattle Seahawks. In return, the Seahawks have gave 2 first-round picks and I think like a
Bradley McDougall.
Yeah, their starter at safety, Brandon McDougall. So I mean, who do you think this trade is a win for? Because yeah, go ahead. Who do you think the trade is a win for?
Let me tell you something. Now, usually when you hear 2 first-round picks for a player,
yeah,
you would think the team that got the 2 first-round picks won.
Yeah.
Few things. Number one, Seattle Seahawks just got their player. They got their Earl Thomas / Cam Chancellor, however you want to play them.
Yep.
Now, if you look on my blog on the on the Facebook blog, I've given my reason why I feel this way. Because now you can interchange him any way you want to. You can have him play the Cam Chancellor role in the middle of the box as a safety. They'll cover your tight ends, get your running back, make tackles, make strip sacks. Or you can play him up top in the deep third where his ball skills have not been exploited yet. You have to remember he's a young guy. So as a young guy, you have not seen his full potential yet. This is why I say he's the Earl Thomas type player. He's going to make plays all over the place. And remember, when Earl Thomas was in Seattle, he was a hitter too. He wasn't only catching picks. He was a hitter.
Yeah.
For the Jets, you would think these picks would help, but it's the Jets.
So that's why So that's why I wanted to touch on a little bit, right? Like, Jamal Adams is on a great team, right? And he could win a Super Bowl, and that's great. The problem is that him getting traded to the Seahawks did not guarantee anything about contract talks extension.
Hey,
That was the whole reason why he wanted to leave the Jets, because of,
they're going to re-sign him.
Oh, okay. I mean, maybe
they have to re-sign him to give up. That's just like Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
In LA, but LA took even bigger risk, because I don't even think Jalen Ramsey is going to stay over there, because Jalen Ramsey bought $100 million.
Yeah.
But for the Jets, I don't think it's going to be good, because the Seahawks are always good, are always near in contention.
Yeah.
So those are like basically second round picks. Those are basically second round picks.
You might, but I would say this, right? Jamal Adams is a 3-year pro, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the Jets get it right, they can get another young guy for 3-4 years with those picks. Now, I know you say to the Jets, and the Jets are an abysmal organization, but there's always a tide that can change. You know what I'm saying? But we'll just have to see, man. I mean, I feel like the Jets won. They had a guy who was disgruntled. They had a guy who was disrespecting the general manager and disrespecting the head coach. And you can't keep a guy like that. I don't care how good his talent is, because he's going to be toxic to the culture. And I know that Jets culture is toxic already, but you don't want to add toxic to toxic. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not one of those things where two negatives make it positive.
Granted, quick thing before we go.
Yeah.
What should happen with those picks? The Jets have never had a pass rusher in their history besides Mark Gastineau.
Okay.
Trade one of those picks for the player in Jacksonville. I can't pronounce his name because I have a heavy list, but Yanakwe.
Okay.
Get him. He's a poor man's Khalil Mack, but he's gonna make plays or make some type of plays in Greg Williams' system. Yeah. Get him or get a viable pass rusher, please. Use those picks, because the Jets have never been good drafting defensive ends or pass rushers. Never been good. That's all I have to say.
All right. On that note, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Let's Be Real. Make sure to hit us up on lbrstalk@gmail.com.
Thank you.
With questions and comments. Check out Big Sherm and what he does on our Facebook page, Let's Be Real Sportscast, the LBRS Sports Blog. Check us out on Twitter. And so we're on Instagram Live, you know what I'm saying?
Right now.
Instagram Live right now, but check us out on Instagram as well. And then if you have any questions or comments on future episodes, or even topics, like, you can always drop them at the Gmail, lbrstalk@gmail.com. And make sure to check us out on YouTube as well. And
Facebook,
subscribe.
Facebook, Spotify. Subscribe. I'm begging that Mario Wines. Please.
All right.
Subscribe.
All right. But you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And that's another episode in the back. Peace.
This has been a Gifted Sounds podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe, rate, and review. For more podcasts, please visit giftedsounds.com.